All right, ready to dive deep into prepping for that fertilizer mixer interview.
Let's do it.
I think we all know the job market's a whole different ballgame these days.
Oh, absolutely.
AI and automation are like changing everything.
It's true. It's not just about qualifications anymore. You need to stand out, like really understand how AI is used in hiring and tailor your approach.
Yeah, for sure. And that's where I think something like RoleCatcher comes in.
Definitely.
So RoleCatcher is this platform that uses AI to help you, well, tailor your resume and your cover letter to the specific job description.
Right.
That way, you're more likely to kind of beat those automated screening systems. But it also has these practice interview questions and gives you AI feedback.
Yeah.
So you can practice your answers, get feedback, and sound really confident on interview day.
So important.
But before we even jump into that, maybe we should break down what a fertilizer mixer actually does.
For sure. So think of it like this. You're in a production facility, like a big fertilizer plant. And you're working with, all these specialized machines to blend these chemical compounds.
So you're the one making the fertilizer.
Exactly. It's a crucial role in the whole agricultural process.
Okay, so what are some of the biggest challenges someone in this role might face?
Well, the work can be pretty demanding. It can be physical. It can be repetitive.
Oh, right.
You're dealing with chemicals, so safety is like the top priority.
Yeah, for sure.
You need to be super precise, super meticulous, and always follow the procedures.
Right.
And on top of that, the industry is always evolving, so you have to stay updated on, the latest trends, new technologies.
Okay, so it's not just like a one and done kind of thing.
Not at all. It's a field where you need to be constantly learning and growing.
Got it. So the career guide, fertilizer mixer, it mentions that the salary is usually between $30,000 to $45,000 a year, and there's room for advancement as you get more experience.
Right.
But let's be honest, it's not just about the paycheck, right?
No, definitely not.
What's like the bigger picture here?
Well, think about it. Fertilizer plays a huge role in boosting crop yields, right?
Yeah.
So you're actually contributing to feeding the world.
That's pretty impactful.
It is.
Okay, so let's say you've got the interview lined up.
Okay.
How do you nail it? The interview guide, fertilizer mixer, has some real tough questions in there.
Yeah, some tricky ones.
Let's start with, what experience do you have in mixing fertilizers?
Okay, so this is your chance to really shine. Even if you haven't been a fertilizer mixer before, you can still highlight relevant experience. Think about anything that shows you can work with machinery, follow instructions, handle materials precisely, work in a production environment.
So even if it's not directly mixing fertilizers, it can still be relevant.
Exactly. Did you ever work in a lab, a factory,
Yeah.
even in a kitchen where you had to follow specific recipes?
So the interviewer is looking for those transferable skills. Are you adaptable? Are you eager to learn?
Exactly. And this is where RoleCatcher can really help.
How so?
Well, their AI can actually analyze the job description.
Oh, cool.
And then suggest how you should tailor your response.
Interesting. So let's say the job description, it emphasizes being really precise, like attention to detail.
Right.
RoleCatcher might suggest that you focus on your experience using calibrated tools or keeping really meticulous records.
That's a great example.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, another question. What types of fertilizers have you worked with?
This is where research comes in. You need to familiarize yourself with different types of fertilizers, their composition, how they're used.
Okay.
Even if you haven't worked with the exact types mentioned in the job description, showing that you've done your homework, that really shows initiative.
It shows you care.
Yeah.
So even if you've never worked with, let's say, ammonium nitrate, you can still talk about its properties and how it's used in the industry.
Right. You can even connect it to something you have worked with.
Okay.
While I haven't worked with ammonium nitrate directly, I have experience handling other nitrogen-based compounds like urea in my previous role.
Oh, that's a good way to tie it in.
It shows you understand the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You're willing to apply your knowledge to new situations.
Makes sense. Okay, now for a trickier one, can you explain the process of mixing fertilizers?
Ooh, this is a good one. Here's where you get to show off, not just your understanding of the role, but also how you can explain technical stuff clearly. Don't just rattle off a textbook definition. Think about the key steps: measuring, blending, making sure everything's evenly mixed, quality control, and of course, always safety.
Right, like it's got to be safe.
Of course. And the interviewer might, ask follow-up
To
questions.
test if you really know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. They might ask about specific equipment or common challenges you might face during the mixing.
Oh, right.
What are some things that could, mess up the consistency of the blend? Or what would you do if the mixture isn't blending properly?
Oh, so those follow-up questions, that's where you show off your problem-solving skills.
Exactly. And how you think on your feet.
All right, I like it.
Okay.
Let's move on to another question. This one's, how do you ensure the quality of the fertilizer mixtures?
This one's all about attention to detail, accuracy, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You want to highlight your commitment to producing a top-notch product. Talk about using calibrated tools, doing regular checks, performing tests to confirm everything's mixed.
Oh, and documentation.
Yeah, for sure. Documenting everything so you have a record and it's all traceable.
Makes sense.
Shows you understand the importance of quality control and accountability.
Okay, so be ready for those follow-up questions again.
Oh, yeah. They might ask about specific quality control procedures or what you do if a whole batch failed to meet the standards.
Oh, yeah, those are good ones. But again, with RoleCatcher, you can get that AI feedback to help you practice those answers.
Right. Make sure you're clear, concise, and confident.
Awesome. Okay, ready for another one. This one's all about safety. How do you ensure the safety of yourself and others during the mixing process?
All right, so safety, as we said, super important in this role. You need to show you really get the safety protocols and procedures.
Mm-hmm.
Start with the basics, wearing the right gear, like gloves, goggles, respirators, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, the PPE.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then talk about following the procedures, keeping your work area clean, and knowing what to do in an emergency, like if there's a spill.
Right.
It's not just about protecting yourself, it's about everyone around you and the environment, too.
They might even ask, what would you do if you saw someone not following the safety rules?
Oh, good one. They want to know that you take safety seriously and you're not afraid to speak up.
And again, RoleCatcher's AI can be really helpful here. It can analyze the job description and point out keywords related to safety.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll suggest ways to emphasize your safety skills.
It's about connecting the dots for the interviewer, showing that you really care about safety and you get it.
Okay, so we've covered some really tough interview questions so far, and we've talked about how RoleCatcher can help.
It's a great tool.
But it's not all about just acing the interview, is it?
No, you got to understand the bigger picture. The career guide, actually, it outlines a typical career path for a fertilizer mixer.
Oh, interesting.
And it's surprisingly diverse.
Okay, let's dig into that.
Yeah, let's do it. So let's talk career path. Where can you go as a fertilizer mixer?
Okay, yeah. The career guide, it outlines a few different stages, starting with those entry-level positions.
Right.
Where you're learning the ropes, how to use the machines, how to assist with the mixing, and of course, always safety first.
Exactly. You're building up that foundation. And then as you gain experience, improve your skills, you could move up to a junior fertilizer mixer role.
Okay.
Where you'd be operating the machines on your own, monitoring the settings, making adjustments, doing those quality control checks.
More responsibility, more hands-on.
Exactly. It's a great way to really build your confidence and show that you're dedicated.
So where do you go from there? What's the next step?
Well, with good performance and more experience, you could become a senior fertilizer mixer.
Okay.
That means you'd be overseeing the whole mixing process, troubleshooting any problems, and even training new team members.
Wow, so you're the expert. Everyone comes to you for help.
You got it. And the guide even talks about moving into management.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you're interested in leadership, you could become a supervisor or even a manager of fertilizer mixing operations.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. So you go from learning how to do it to leading a whole team.
It's a real career path with a lot of potential.
The guide also has these example profiles of actual fertilizer mixers.
Oh yeah, those are great.
At different stages of their careers.
Yeah, they give you a good idea of what success looks like.
Right.
There's this profile of a senior fertilizer mixer, and it highlights, their deep knowledge of the different blends, their problem-solving skills, and how they mentor junior staff. It's really inspiring.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's just gears back to those interview questions for a sec.
Okay.
We talk about how RoleCatcher uses AI to help you tailor your answers to the specific job, but it can also help you with how you actually deliver your answers, right?
Totally. It's like having a virtual coach, you know?
Oh, okay.
You can practice your answers to those tough questions, and the AI will give you feedback on things like your pacing, if you're speaking clearly, even if you're using the right keywords.
That's amazing. So you can keep practicing until you sound like super confident.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's try another question. This one's from the guide. How do you prioritize and manage your workload when mixing fertilizers?
Ooh, that's a good one. They're trying to see how organized you are, how well you can handle multiple tasks, especially in a busy environment.
Yeah, because it's probably pretty fast-paced.
It can be, yeah. So you don't want to just say, well, I do whatever comes first.
Right,
You
right.
got to show them your system, you know. Do you use lists, calendars? Do you have a special way of deciding what's most urgent? Do you break big tasks into smaller steps?
Oh, and don't forget about communication.
Right. If you're working on a team, how do you make sure everyone's on the same page?
It's all about being proactive and organized.
Exactly. Show them you've got a system.
Okay, I like it. Here's another one. How do you stay up to date with, like, the latest trends and advancements in fertilizer mixing?
That's an important one. The industry's always changing, so you got to keep learning.
Hmm.
They want to know you're passionate and you're committed to your professional development. So how do you stay informed? Do you read industry journals? Do you go to webinars? Are you part of like online forums?
Yeah, like how do you actually learn about new stuff?
Exactly. And be specific. Mention those journals or those forums by name. It shows you've done your research.
Makes sense. Okay, let's do one last question from the interview guide. Fertilizer mixer. This one's about leadership. Can you give me an example of a time you had to lead a team, like on a fertilizer mixing project?
Okay, so even if you haven't had a formal leadership title, you've probably had times where you've had to take charge.
Yeah, for sure.
Think about group projects, volunteer work, even just times when you took initiative at work.
So what are they looking for here?
They want to see how you can delegate tasks, motivate people, and guide a team towards a goal.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be some huge project. It could be something small, like streamlining a process or fixing a problem. Focus on those key skills: communication, problem solving, decision making, being able to inspire others.
And I bet RoleCatcher can help with this one too, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's AI can pinpoint those leadership keywords in the job description and then give you tips on how to tailor your answer to really highlight those qualities.
So it's like having a scriptwriter for your interview.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, we've covered a lot in this deep dive. We talked about the role, the career path, and some really tough interview questions.
We did.
But before we wrap up, let's talk about RoleCatcher again and how it can really give you an edge in this job market.
It's such a valuable tool, especially now with AI being used more and more in hiring.
It's like leveling the playing field.
Totally.
It helps you put your best foot forward. And it's not just about finding any job, it's about finding the right job and landing it with confidence.
And RoleCatcher gives you the tools and the resources to do just that.
Exactly. So we've really gotten deep into this whole fertilizer mixer thing, right? Like what it is, what the career path looks like, and how to handle those interview questions.
We've covered a lot of ground, that's for sure.
But it's more than just having the knowledge. You know, it's about like using the right tools to really stand out in this crazy job market.
Absolutely. And that's where I think RoleCatcher can make a huge difference.
Yeah, we've talked about how their AI can help you create that killer resume and cover letter, and how it can help you like practice your answers to those interview questions and sound super confident.
But it's even more than that, you know?
Oh, okay. How so?
It's like having this team of career experts in your back pocket.
Oh, interesting.
They can help you with like researching companies, understanding what kind of salary you should be asking for, even negotiating the job offer.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is. And the best part is a lot of their resources are totally free.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so if you're serious about becoming a fertilizer mixer, head over to RoleCatcher.com and check it out. You won't regret it.
Okay, that's good advice. I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about today, a lot of great information.
I hope so.
So as you get ready for that fertilizer mixer interview, just remember, the industry is changing fast, so.
Embrace technology, keep learning, stay curious.
Yeah, exactly. You never know, you might be the one who comes up with the next big innovation in fertilizer mixing.
That's the spirit.
All right, so on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. Best of luck in your job search, and keep those mixers running smoothly.
See ya.